Hey guys, today what I'm going to do is show you how you can use uh, a chart to display a dynamic data set and then have callouts for the smallest and the largest values within that data set and have that displayed in callouts on your chart. So the first thing that we're going to do is I'm going to quickly go over how I have a dynamic data set up here with this months and sales columns. These columns are using the information over to the left. As you can see, the start date and end date are calculated for our raw data set. And then I use that with some other formula to calculate my months and then my sales over on the right in column H and I. So what you'll see first is that I've created some dynamic name ranges for the months column and the sales column, and making these dynamic or creating naming ranges for it is going to allow me to allow my data set to expand. So if I had information for October 2015, it would automatically get added in there. So you'll see that this automatically follows. So it's saying anything between H3000, if there's data that is contained in any of those cells, it's going to show up in our dynamic name range. So then I did the same thing with the list of sales. We used the index and the count formula to create a dynamic name range again. And again, that's list sales. So I'm going to close that. Now the second thing we're going to do is we're going to look at using the rank formula to rank all of the dynamic data that we have. So in this column I, we have all the different sales for all the months, and we rank them from highest sold to lowest. So number one, when you use the rank formula, would be the highest, and whatever the last number is, or the greatest number in that data set for the rank, would be your high or your lowest value sold, I should say. So I'm using the if formula here to make my rank column dynamic as well. So if essentially column I is blank for the specific record that we're looking, column L for that row, it's going to be displayed as a blank record. So I'm using anything that is not equal to blank, as you can see, using the if formula. If that value is true, what we're going to do is use the rank formula and rank that amongst the total list of sales, which is our dynamic name range that I use. So you said I4, and our reference list is going to be the list of sales. So we're listing, what we're doing here is we're saying anything cell I4, or the value in cell I4, how does it rank in the list of total sales in that column? So what I'll do is I want to sort that in descending order, so I just put 0 for that, and then finally a comma if the I4 is a blank record. What do we want to show? And in this case we want to use quotations, 2 quotations, to display a blank value if there is nothing in column I. So you'll see that 587,000, so the month of October ranks as the 6th highest month sold based on all of the data that we have in column I, or based on all of the months of information that we have. So that's what we're going to do with this actually is I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to type in the name box up in the top left, L3000. That'll bring me all the way down to there. And I'm going to select Control plus Shift up, and then I'm going to right click and apply the formula to all of those cells. So that has now applied the rank formula to each of those. You see that August 2015 has the highest month sold, or is the highest month sold. And now that we've done that, I'm going to go over here and I want to show which month is the highest month sold, or which value is the month sold. So I'm going to go, you'll see that I've created a list, another dynamic name range for list rank. And we do that using the count formula again. So you can see over to the right, our data is highlighted based on that formula. Once we've done that, and we're going to use this list, this dynamic name range, to make a calculation on the min value. The min being the highest value sold. So the highest value sold is always going to be a rank of 1, of course. So if we type equals, we go max, use the max formula. I'm sorry, the min formula, list rank, and that will give us 1. And then if we want to show the lowest sold, we want to show max, which would be the highest rank number of list rank. That gives us 12. So as you can see over on the left, we have February 2015 is the 12th rank out of all of them. So that is the lowest value sold out of our entire data set of sales. So now that we've got that, we can actually calculate our highest sold and our lowest sold columns. So we set these up, and on our charts, the highest and lowest sold columns will be added as two separate data series, which is going to allow us to show just the highest and the lowest values, of course. So if any of the cells do not happen to be the highest or the lowest sold, we actually want to show nothing on the chart, and that's why we're going to actually create a not available symbol within that cell, of course, using the NA formula. So you'll see this in just a second. So the formula we're going to use is if, open bracket, because we're using the highest sold, we want to, so if the value is 1, so we're going to use that cell down in D13, then we want to display I4, or the value, I should say, in the sales column. Because this is not the highest value sold, or it does not have rank 1 on that associated rank row, we're going to show not available. And what that not available is going to do on our chart is it's not going to display any point of data, as I said. So that's why we're going to do that. So I'm going to use the same thing, the same trick I used in the last one. I'm going to use the name box to copy that formula all the way down to cell 3000 because we want to make sure that our data set remains dynamic. So I'll type in J3000 after I copy that. And I'm going to use Control Shift up, right click on that, hit FX, and now you'll see that we have not available any of them. So you'll see that the highest rank, of course, is April 2016 at 618,939, and that's the value we're going to want to show on the chart. Next thing we want to do is we're going to do the same and apply it to the lowest sold column that we have here. So if the rank equals the lowest sold rank value, then we want to show the sales for that particular row. In this case, it would be I4. If not, not available, and you'll see that that is not the highest, the lowest value sold in this case, or the highest rank. I'll type in K3000 again. That'll bring me all the way down so that my data set remains dynamic again. We'll use the FX to only apply the formula and copy the formula over, and you'll see that now we have February 2015 being the lowest month sold, and that is at rank 12. Okay, perfect. So you'll see now that we wanted to also again create dynamic name ranges for the highest sold and the lowest sold. But what I've done is I've referred to the rank column you'll see on the count so that it doesn't pick up all of the not available data further down the list, so that our accesses don't include that information or that data and try and add more data than what we are wanting to display. Okay, so if you go over to our chart, you'll see that right now it's already set up to show 619 and 546K respectively for the highest and lowest values. I'm going to take those out so I can show you how to do this. So I'm going to take those data series out. I'm going to remove those two. And what we'll do is we'll add a new series. So the first series is going to be for the highest sold value. And what I'm going to do is when you're using name ranges, you need to actually put in the tab. In charts, you need to put in the tab name with the name range name. In this case, it's the calculations tab. The best way of doing it though is just actually selecting, going equals and then selecting the tab and then typing in your name range. So if I do that again, we select calculations and then I put in my name range now. My name range being list of high, or list high is shows me the highest value sold within that column. That's the new series that we have. I'm going to edit that. And then I just name that series highest sold. We're going to hit OK. Now we're going to go to change the horizontal axis to be only the dates, and that of course we're going to again select the calculations tab first, and then we're going to put in list of months, and that brings up all of the lists of months that are available in that dynamic name range. So again, if that changes and you add data to your months column, it will be included automatically. So you'll see that that already got created by itself there because I had already had it set. But you can format the data series and the data point to show and display this way. So if you go to series options, you can actually update the line, what the line looks like, in this case no line, and you can update the marker option. So I've added a little square at size 7. And then if over on the right here again, you can see that I've changed the solid fill to a green. And then I added a white border to it to give it a little pop. So we added the data callouts that way. Okay. So now that's added, we're going to select our data again. We're going to add another series. This one's going to be called lowest sold. We're going to type equals, select the tab, and we're going to go list low, of course, which is our dynamic name range for the lowest sold column. Now that we have that, we're going to go to the calculations again. We want to show the list of months for the horizontal axis for that data series, and you see that that's been updated. So now you see that we have a value. I want to change that marker point. You see it's showing up in gray right now. Again, I added all these data callouts prior to creating this video, so you'll see that this is just automatically adding, but you have to add your own data callouts when you create the chart and these data series. So the not available is what's allowing us not to show any of the other points of data associated to each of these months because we set them to not available. So if we go again over to our label options, try and select that. Okay, so we go over to our label option, or no, the line options and the fill options. We're going to change that to a solid fill of red. We're going to add a solid line in white, and that gives us the little square in white. And we did the same with the markers as well. Now, one of the other things that I've done here, you can change the fonts on here, of course, to whatever you want. And once we've done that, you select that little chart label option that we have on the right hand side in our format data labels. And we're going to change the number format. We're going to remove the link source just so I can show you this. But I've created conditional formatting on my numbers by using custom number formatting under the label option. So I go to custom. In this case, I've already set it up. You'll see anything that is in square brackets is a condition when you're using custom number formatting. And what I've done is greater than or equal to 10,000 is going to show up in thousands of dollars. So you see that comma after the 0, that's what's creating the 1,000, and I add that K just to identify that. And anything less than 10,000 is actually going to show up just as its standard value. And that's what allows these to show up on the graph in thousands of dollars, of course. So now that we've done that, let's just test this out. We'll go over to our sales tab. We're going to test it. We're going to add a new record. And we'll put one in for 900,000. And what this is going to do is give us a high point for sure for that month. And we'll put it for the month of October, which doesn't already exist. And what we'll notice is that our data set has expanded to include that. And our lowest point is still 546K. If we delete it, you'll notice, of course, that we're back to the highest value based on all the other data sets that we created using the calculations. So that's about it for the video today. I know that it was a long one. I definitely appreciate you guys checking it out. Definitely leave any comments or questions that you have down below. We'll see you next time. Thanks.